could make it. This is me popping her on. But
oh, now everyone can see her. She's like, no, don't.
don't do it. Okay. I suppose she could also pop herself on if she wanted to. 2 for normal and 5 for the larger frame. Exactly. Though when I go to this one, it should automatically drop us into shift 6. Let's see. That's okay. I wonder why it does that instead of this one.
Yeah.
But I'll control that one. When we go to this, actually,
sure you will.
I'll control that. You know what, Paul?
Famous last words.
Gosh, why do I have that on? Okay, there we go.
Why do you?
I don't know, for reasons. Okay, here we go. Thumbs up if you guys are ready to actually start the podcast.
Oh man, I gotta back up. My head's way too big. There we go.
Well, let's try shift 1, Ashley. Let's see how that looks.
No, I like it.
Well,
I like it better than. That's your call. You're the captain.
Yeah.
Ribbit. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I usually do that in private, not when in front of people.
Man, I'm really torn. Yeah.
It's a tough decision.
I'm kind of thinking that too. Like if we are all on like HD cameras, like all like pro level camera setups.
What are you saying about my HD camera? By the way, this streams only limits it to 720.
No, I'm going out to 1080 now.
Dang it. How are you doing that? I have my snap camera going. Do you have snap camera going?
Yeah.
So I drop in my options. I go to my settings and it lists like normal and then it says like 720 and it doesn't list the 1080. Why is that?
What type of webcam do you have?
I have a Logi
Hey, Cardinal.
HD 1080p is what it says. The C90 or 95 or whatever it is.
C920, yeah. So when you go into choose camera resolution, it doesn't let you do 1920 by 1080?
No, well, it says full. Oh, never mind. That wasn't there when I joined, but now it's there. It says 1080. All right. I don't know about everyone else, but it says I'm on 1080p, 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
That's more than this movie had because it was 24 frames per second because it's animation.
What? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, but I think I like.
I don't remember which one, if it's a 920 or a 922.
But you gotta know, Paul. Okay.
Do I?
Anyway.
Do I?
Yes, I think you do. All right, guys. Then I think we're good to go. Me and Paul are gonna do a little skit here at the beginning. But other than that, did I ask for a thumbs up if we were ready to go?
Only like twice.
Okay. All right. This will be a fun evening. All right. So Les and Dale are using the C930. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. That's cool.
Nice.
Here we go. And
wait, I'm not ready because now I have to research my orders for webcams because apparently it's important.
No, I don't know how important it is, Paul. I'm being.
It's C920X Pro HD, so I don't know if that's good or bad.
Let's see. Ashley, could you put Paul big screen so I could just take a look at it? But
aha,
yes, no, there you
go. All right, like my blue eyes.
No, that's I mean, I hope it's not placebo effect, but I can tell that is different than what it was before.
You can see like a little acne and dimples. Right.
Yes, love the acne.
Now that we know your imperfections, can we get on with it?
No, I think we need to dwell on these imperfections.
All right.
No, let's go ahead and get back to normal here.
All right, look, it's El Dorado.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I thought we were starting. I already gave the thumbs up.
El Dorado.
Okay, here we go. In 5, 4, 3.
Wait for it.
Look, El Dorado, the city of gold. This could be our destiny, our fate.
Paul, if I believed in fate, I wouldn't be recording this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Reflux capacitor, fluxing, crew, to stations. Scanning for the road to El Dorado, 2000. Prepare to rewind in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the master gold stealing interrupter powers.
I thought you were going to say gold digging. Thank you, Francisco, and welcome to episode 250. And celebrating our month of May, which I'm just so happy that we're celebrating anime, reviewing this animated movie, because this is one movie that I have seen only once in theaters when it first came out, and I'm wondering if it held up or not.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that too. I've never seen it before, but also for this discussion, people that I think have seen it before. First, we welcome back for the Road to El Dorado episode, Ship's Health Inspector Dale White. Hey, Dale.
Sup, man? What's
What's
up?
up? And in addition, we are glad to have back aboard Historian Officer Celeste Mora. Hey, Celeste.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And now that you have a quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for The Road to El Dorado?
All right. El Dorado was released in 1966.
The Road to El Dorado.
Yeah,
The Road.
Yeah, the one with John Wayne and...
No.
No?
This is the animated DreamWorks 2000, The Road to El Dorado.
Is that the one with Bing Crosby and Bob Hope?
Yes.
No, that's the different road.
Spur him on, Dale.
All right, hold on. I watched the wrong one. Okay. The Road to El Dorado.
Yes.
All right, it was released March 31st in the year 2000. And it runs an hour and 29 minutes and is rated PG. It was directed by, oh great, you got me some real fun names here. Bebo Bergen,
Yeah.
Don Paul, and Jeffrey Katzenberg was uncredited, but he still wants credit. It was written by Terry Rossio, Ted Elliott, Carrie Kirkpatrick, with lead stars, that's voice stars, being Kevin Kline, Kenneth Branagh. I'm sorry, Kenneth. I don't know.
Branagh. Kenneth
Branagh. Branagh. All right, Branagh. And Rosie Perez. The music was composed by John Powell and Hans Zimmer. You ready for the box office trivia?
I am ready. Celeste and Dale, are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Right.
And anyone here live in chat, feel free to join as well. Go for it, Paul.
All right. The Road to El Dorado was made for about $95 million and earned only about $65 million in the box office.
Yikes.
We haven't had a loser in a while. I mean,
We
one that lost.
Wow.
But given this and the fact that it was released theatrically in the year 2000,
Thank you,
how
Paul.
high do you think it ranks in the box office among the movies released theatrically in the year 2000? We'll go for the top 2000.
Whoa. Okay, let's start with Celeste. What is your in the top 2000? Where do you think this ranks for 2000? The year 2000 movies.
2042.
Wow.
Wait, no, that doesn't work.
No, you mean 42?
I was trying to go with like 1942, but then I
works.
said
You could do
2000 instead. So
1940.
1942.
1942.
We're going with
okay.
Columbus.
Wow. He sailed the ocean blue during World War II?
Sailed the ocean. Well,
you
no,
said
it was 18.
1942, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Just ignore me.
Drew, how about... Not Drew. Dale, how about you?
I'll be a little bit more optimistic and say 25.
25. All right. I'm going to guess 99. That's going to be my guess. Then in chat, we have other fun guesses of 1997 from Star Fox, 1999 from Geek Devotion / Dallas.
Are these all favorite years?
Apparently. 1984 from Dallas, excuse me. Ashley says 1492. But seriously, 1986. Oh my gosh, you guys can't change it.
She was
Baba
telling
says-
me when
14.
Columbus sailed.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Baba says 42, of course. And then Neko says 45. Star Fox changes it on me again, 67. And then A6 OG. Okay, guys, stop. Okay, Paul, what is it? Just give me one.
All right, according to the numbers.com, the road to El Dorado came in at 61.
Oh, okay.
So I think Star
61.
Fox got that one.
I believe so. Yeah, he had 67. Yeah, 67.
Yeah.
So good job, Star Fox. Awesome, Paul. Thank you for those factoids. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert. Approaching target. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
Only 2 men were brave enough to find the lost city of gold. Now,
An army of strangers approaching the city.
they're the only ones. We can't stay here.
We've got to do something.
Who can save it? On March 31st, it's 2 for the action
Prepare yourselves for battle!
and 2 for the road. The Road to El Dorado, rated PG. Starts Friday, March 31st everywhere.
Yes, March 31st everywhere. But what do we remember about it being everywhere or maybe nowhere? Let's find out in our memory mind meld synopsis.
Nice
Just ignore
segue.
That segue. Elton John disappointingly sings throughout the tale of a scientist studying randomology and President Dave, who are 2 thieves who tell them that they can find El Dorado and are surprised when they actually do. But they continue the con as they end up trying to steal all the gold and pose for a meme that has been used for when someone wants to do both. Wow. Both? Yes, both. But in the end, they find something of higher value. I mean, I guess some of that was kind of right, but I'd say on the whole it was deceptive. Yeah, deceptive. Definitely deceptive. But based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what rating did they lead you to predict for this film before rewatching it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's start with our guests. Celeste, what was your prediction for The Road to El Dorado?
I predicted nostalgic.
Nostalgic? Are you sure about that?
I am.
All right. Dale, how about you?
Also nostalgic.
Also
Nice.
nostalgic. Fine. And let's go to our XO Paul. What was your prediction for El Dorado?
Well, when I saw it previously the one time, I enjoyed it. So I predicted classic.
All right, that's fair. For me, like I said, I'd never seen this before. I sort of felt like, I mean, it's DreamWorks Animation. They did Prince of Egypt, which I really liked. They've done other animated films. Spirit, Sally and the Cimarron, I thought was good. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll give it a chance. I'll say nostalgic, though I remember seeing the ads for this and having no desire to see it.
I was about to say, that's quite a chance you're giving it. But
But so I predicted nostalgic. It'll be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's get into our discussion of the things we liked most about The Road to El Dorado. Let's spin up our
Best 3.
best 3 things and our top 3 things. And let's start with Dale. What was one thing you liked about The Road to El Dorado?
The camaraderie between the 2 main characters, Tulios and Miguel. I loved the chemistry between the 2 of them. I thought Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh did a good job of making you believe they were 2 dudes going on an adventure together. And I thought that was the cool thing about it.
Absolutely. I had heard that apparently they were in the same sound booth together recording instead of separately,
nice.
which was really cool and probably
I had hoped that was the case.
yeah. So that was really cool.
I wonder if that's part of why they had such a good chemistry.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I don't know
every
much.
time-
I don't know much about. I don't know about Branagh, but I know Kevin Kline is pretty much a improvisationalist.
Oh, really?
He did like a Fish Like Wanda and
Oh,
other
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this that would be in his motif or his roundhouse, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. His not je ne sais quoi. I'm not French. I forget what. I think I know what you mean though. That's
There's
sort of his MO. What
Yeah.
he's known for is improv and doing well in that regard. Yeah. So I think having him and Kenneth Branagh together would make sense. So I also was reading.
See,
Oh,
I loved him in Dave. I just love that movie so much because,
I've never seen Dave.
well, you have to check it out.
Okay.
But I'm just using it to say that, and I thought he was the best part of Beauty and the Beast, the movie, the remake, to me anyway.
Who was he in that?
He was Belle's father.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Of course, Belle's father. I knew. That.
yeah.
Well, the movie to me was pretty much a mess, but he kind of stood out somehow for me. But I'm just trying to use that to say that it's in his motif, it's in his wheelhouse,
Yeah.
and I
Wheelhouse,
love
yeah.
that, and he brought that to this project.
Awesome. Celeste, was the chemistry something between those two actors something that made your like list, or did something else appeal to you about from this movie?
it did not make my liked list, but I have a kind of a similar artistic-y type. I really enjoyed the way that they colored things.
Oh
Like
yeah.
everything outside of El Dorado had this kind of gray undertone. Spain was very bright, but the ships and then the entire rest of the island was all dull and not very vibrant. And then when you got to El Dorado, everything got so much brighter. I thought it was a nice transition to the differences in the places.
Absolutely. I mean, we will be talking about that later, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that, but I did it. I agree. I enjoyed that.
Oh, really? You didn't
Yeah.
notice that, Paul?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised. Usually you notice things like that, but okay,
Yeah.
cool.
This time.
Awesome. Paul, what did you notice about this film that you really liked?
I really appreciated the two chiefs and how they were opposed as not only stylistically, but their beliefs, what they stood for. You could tell they were on opposing sides of different issues, but they didn't go into like a long backstory behind them. You kind of knew where it was, and I enjoyed. We for some reason the way they handled it, I thought we knew these characters without going too deep into it, and I thought they were really well played.
I think they did a good job of using non-vocal cues for that because like when they were cheating at dice and then they kind of looked at each other and he said that one sentence and they're just like let's do this.
No. I'm talking about the Chiefs. That was played by Armand Arsante and Edward Olmos. The big
Yes.
the big fat peace loving chief, and then the
priest.
deranged violent priest, or if you know the two opposing guys there.
Yeah.
They also did a good job with that relationship
Yeah.
without using a lot of words.
That's
Yeah, you
true. Yeah. And
Just
we don't get a lot
misheard
of backstories on either of those two
No.
duos, but I think you get enough of it that you don't need it. So yeah. they
Yeah,
did a
I mean,
good
you can
job
sort of
that.
tell that they're at odds and that they're vying for power. And
Yeah.
absolutely. Or
But
for
yeah,
the
that's a
hearts of their
good point,
people,
Celeste. I didn't think about the two main guys are absolutely the same way. Like,
Yeah.
not that they're opposing powers, but you know, you could tell there's a rich backstory, but you don't need to go into it. You understand the
Right,
characters.
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to something else I liked now, or just something I liked, and it's based going off of the priest Czechoslovakia. I can never quite say the TZ together. It's almost like a ch sound, but not quite. But Sekal Khan, the evil sort of the bad guy in this. Again, like you said, Amar. Yes, that Khan, not that Khan. I really liked his the Stone Jaguar
Yeah.
at the end. is this like is almost like a prototype for Voltron. It was really but it was really cool. I didn't know that was where this story was going. I could tell like there were some fantastical elements like those huge koi fish in the river and stuff. So I knew it wasn't completely based on reality. But so I like that they intertwined this sort of magical jaguar into this, and that was like the big bad, and how they got rid of him by getting them off the cliff and stuff. So that I really enjoyed that as a set piece.
Yeah.
In this film. Let's go back to Celeste. What's something else you liked about The Road to El Dorado?
I really enjoyed the humor.
Yes.
I thought it was funny. Now, mind you, I went into this with an understanding of this was late 90s, early 2000s humor, which is the humor I grew up with.
Nice.
Because, like, I was a young teenager when this came out. And so I kind of just, it was nice to, like, be back into that. Because kids' movies nowadays have a different feel with their humor and their jokes. And it's one of those that I was like, this is funny. Like, this legitimately has me laughing out loud.
Yeah.
I'm glad it had someone laughing out loud. Dale, what was something you liked?
I also like the animation.
Yes.
I just like Celeste. I was kind of taken away by some of the animation. Maybe not everything, but most of it. I liked how when you got the El Dorado, it's like looking at the Wizard of Oz, or else everything turned to color all of a sudden.
Yeah. That's another good analogy to it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. How did I miss that? You're right.
I don't know, just something I observed.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That's kind of what I meant by what I was saying, but that's a better way of saying it.
You come out of this black and white, and you walk in, there's all this color. So I just enjoy the way they animated it.
Absolutely.
And y'all talking about the high priest. Could they make the guy look more evil?
Yeah. The way his hair cut, did you notice it looked like two little horns in some angles?
At times I wonder, is this the Joker in their time? What is this?
No.
Oh yeah.
The way he smiled and grinned, it just looked like the Joker. I don't know,
something about his smile and grin that I didn't sort of pick up on, but thinking back to him, apparently they actually outlined each tooth. And you usually don't do that in animation. You just have like this white set out, the white band at the top, white band at the bottom. But to make him look more human and thereby more, he looks more menacing by doing that. So I thought that was a nice touch for sure.
It definitely is, especially since a lot of people get freaked out by teeth, having the individual ones done.
No.
I don't, as long as they're in the appropriate mouths. But so, but yeah, that's an interesting effect that they added to him.
Yeah.
I want to spin back though, going off your like of the humor, Celeste, and go to something else I liked. And I actually really enjoyed the Jaws gag when they're out in the middle of the ocean and
Bruce.
They have pretty much this very much Jaws-esque shark come up right and just it looked exactly like out of the poster. I thought that was a fun thing. Did they catch a fish? What was it that the shark ate?
I think it was
a seagull.
A bird.
The seagull that landed.
Oh yeah, the seagull. That's right. That landed on the oar. Yes.
I enjoyed that too, Francisco, but that actually made one of my bonus dislikes because the jaw ate like almost half the oar, and 3 seconds later, the full oar is back, and they're rowing with it. So continuity error.
I don't think that was the oar. I think that was the steerer thing in the back.
Yeah,
no, it was the oar.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, okay.
Because I noticed that too.
They wouldn't have
it's a fun joke. You got to stick and commit.
Yeah.
Katzenberg. I know you're trying to pay homage to Spielberg, but come on, commit.
Come on, commit to it. Anyway, that leaves Paul.
Yeah.
Before we get to our classic makers, what's one more thing you liked about this film?
Well, like Dale, I'm a big fan of 2D animation, and I thought this was a great example of it. And I especially love the character designs of the characters. It's hard to come up with a new and interesting way to design humans.
Yeah.
And now, granted, some of the some of the background characters, like it's like all the females look the same, or sometimes all the kids look the same. It's like what's going on here? But for the most part, all the character designs were interesting and really well thought out and really creative and really well done, in my opinion.
I do appreciate that the Aztec people, which is what the El Dorado people were based off of, they look like I know people that look like that.
Oh wow!
That have Aztec heritage, like the priest, the large nose, like he does. That's a pretty common feature with someone who has Aztec heritage.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. Can confirm. I've been told that me and my brothers have, and I guess thereby my dad have, some Aztec in our lineage, but I have no idea how. I can't corroborate that or anything. I'm not giving my DNA to 23andMe, so I won't know. I won't ever really know that. Regardless, I would like to know, and I will find out, your guys' classic makers for the road to El Dorado. Let's go to Celeste. What did you love most about this film?
So my classic maker is one singular moment, and it actually has to do with whoever brought up the Jaws thing.
Yes, Francisco.
It's not that, but it's in that section of the movie.
On the
boat?
In the
yes. They were on the boat.
So it's not the scream. Darn it.
Although that was pretty good.
Yeah.
They were on the boat and they said something about, well, it could be worse. And it starts raining.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a Young Frankenstein reference.
It was? I don't remember that.
In Young Frankenstein, when they're digging up body parts, Frankenstein's complaining and his assistant goes, could be worse.
I'm sorry.
Could be raining. And then it starts raining.
Yes. But then this movie added on top of it by introducing a lot of sharks in the water after that.
If there were sharks in the graveyard, I would have problems with Young Frankenstein. And it wouldn't probably be one of my favorites.
It's a were shark. A were shark? Their shark.
So
okay.
The fact that, like, I legitimately have been laughing about that joke. The fact that they brought up Young Frankenstein today. I watched it last night. Yeah. I have been giggling about it all day internally.
Aw, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely enjoy when movies will call back to other properties, even if it's for no reason. It's like the people know that someone will get this, and that's who it's for. So, very, very awesome. Dale, what was your classic maker though? Was it that Young Frankenstein reference or something else?
Well, it's more of a well, majority of your animated movies are usually made for children.
Yes.
In the mindset of children. Yes. I had this appreciation of this movie. Seemed like it was something that adults could enjoy more than children. It didn't seem like it was made for children in mind. It was made for adults. That's one thing I loved about it. I didn't get it felt like a couple of dudes can just go out and enjoy it and have a laugh and not have to bring kids to it. That's something I enjoyed about it the most. It just I can just sit there and just in front of the TV and just watch this film, watch this adventure of two dudes going on this adventure, and
it's fun for the whole family.
Yeah, you bring children along with it, but it didn't feel like it was just made for children, for 7-year-olds, 13-year-olds. In mine, it's just I know when you look at classic animation like Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, and all of them, that they're all made for adults, but somehow, some way, as kids, they became pacifiers. Parents sit their kids in front of the TV so they can stay quiet, for 2 hours or whatever. So we got some way we got more. So children became the market.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I like in this movie watching it. It just felt like to me it was something that adults could get more out more enjoyment than children. I think I watched it with my nieces once, and they fell asleep on it.
Yeah.
And I, so that was my classic maker for the film.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. Very cool. Then let's go to Paul. What was your classic maker for Road to El Dorado?
My classic maker is actually one of Dale's likes, and that was the chemistry between Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh, whatever, Tulio and Miguel. I thought it was
Yes.
great, their banter. I thought it was so great. It made me wonder why they didn't create more movies with these two, like, other adventures, The Road to
I
this
think
and The Road to
you
that.
sort of have an answer to that.
Oh,
You
yes,
read the
because
box
this
office.
movie failed at the box office. Yes, unfortunately. I think it's a great premise for them to build off of. So this is one of those things, these two guys together, where they could make some great direct-to-home video kind of things, maybe. Or at least just between these two characters.
I could see that. I think, though, it would have to, really to sell that, for me anyway, it'd have to incorporate my classic maker, which is sort of part and parcel with some of your guys's. Just how beautiful this looks, like the richness of color and the vibrancy, especially in El Dorado. It was just so beautiful and breathtaking, and all the design of the Aztec buildings and pyramids and just, like I said, the vibrancy was just really, really breathtaking. And I feel like any of those shots would be great, like wall art or wallpaper on your computer, whatnot. You see some of it behind me and Paul if you're watching the video. But it's really, really stunning. So well done on the artwork and the art department for the sets, I guess. Are they called sets in animation, Paul, when it's the backgrounds?
Background artist? Sure.
Background artist, yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay. Well, then we'll go with that. Then. But that leaves something else I forgot. One more thing I forgot about, because I can never seem to remember these likes, even though it's in the notes, but heaven forbid I forget these things. And that would be, you know what I'm forgetting.
Yeah, Stunning and Brave.
Stunning and Brave. Wow, Paul, you're on top of it. Each week, hosts Chris Cowan of the Babylon Bee and Nate Henderson of Some Boring Budgeting Job confess their privilege, spotlight stunning social media posts, and fabricate outrage, all while keeping you super woke and enlightened. They will make you laugh. That's right, you have no choice. Check out Stunning and Brave at stunningandbrave.net.
Yeah, Nate and Chris are great. But what do they have to do with the Road to El Dorado?
Paul, really, they're, white Christian men that are totally have an imperialist background. So,
are you saying they carry around loaded dice, like conning people?
No, like Cortez, they go to conquer.
Oh,
beautiful tribal people.
I thought you were going to say that Tulio and Miguel were stunning and brave.
But were they?
Anyway,
I also have it on good authority that Chell, the love interest in this, really awakened the adolescence of Chris Cowan. So,
I believe it. That's the connection.
That is the connection. There you go, Paul. Done and done. But how about some trivia about the film?
That would be better, especially for Chris's sake.
Did you all realize that that a series of sequels, this sort of speaks to what you're saying, Paul, a series of sequels featuring Miguel, Tulio, Chell, and even Altivo, and also the Armadillo, were going about other legends and dang it, Edna Mode, what is this even saying?
Did you realize that a series of sequels featuring Miguel, Tulio, Chell, Ativo, and even the Armadillo going after other legends about gold was planned?
Okay, I'm good now. Thank you. Yes. Okay.
I can read. Hooked on phonics. I didn't even try.
Okay, take two. All right, so did you all realize that a series of sequels featuring Miguel, Tulio, Chell, Altivo, and even the Armadillo going after other legends about gold was planned, similar to like Shrek, had several spin-offs and became a franchise. But following the disappointing box office results, all those sequels and stuff were canceled.
Dang it!
Yeah, Paul will never get his Miguel and Tulio sequel. But I'm curious. My question to all of you is there a character from any DreamWorks animated film that you would love to see a franchise around? So and if you want to go the CG animated ones, that's fine. But better
I have
off
to
if you
look
go
up DreamWorks films.
I do too, because I legitimately was looking for this on Disney Plus because I didn't realize it wasn't Disney.
Oh wow.
Womp
Well,
womp.
I will go ahead with thank you, Paul. I will go ahead with mine while you guys are thinking of that. And
Is it animated or any like live action as well?
No, not live action, just
2D?
animated, but it could be CG animated or traditionally animated. What were you gonna say, Dale?
2D animation?
Yeah, that's fine, or 3D. Either is fine. For me though, I would actually I think it'd be really cool. I mean, it's all the rage, guys, seeing the Maleficents and all the evil characters and Cruella de Vil and wherever get their own movie about how they're just misunderstood. Well, I would like a movie about Sekal Khan. His rise to power through the priesthood, I want him to just see pure evil. I want to just see why we don't root for him in this, and like what's all the stuff he learns, how he learns about the jaguar statue, all that stuff. I think that'd be really cool. And then to see maybe, and then if that does well, because I know it's going to, we see a sequel where he actually comes back and overthrows the chief. And El Dorado becomes this crazy, horrible place, and then it gets conquered by the Spanish.
All right. Well,
wait, Mel Gibson made that movie already. Never mind.
Well, I would like to see Kung Fu Panda have a bunch of movies and some TV series. Oh wait, no wait. That already happened.
yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon. That would be cool to have a series in it. No, wait, they already do. How about Mr. Peabody and Sherman? That would be great to have a cartoon series. Oh, wait, they already did. And then Captain Underpants would be great, I think, as a children's book series. Like that, or even TV. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm trying to find something that isn't like...
I have two.
Go ahead, Celeste.
Oh,
okay.
go for it. She can take
So-
one of mine. then.
So I would love to either see a series off of Roddy from Flushed Away
Ooh.
or O from Home.
Oh, I haven't seen Home.
Yeah.
I
I
did see
think-
Flushed Away.
Home is about a little alien named O who comes to Earth
Right.
and deals with Earth. And so I think watching O deal with Earth would be amusing. Now I know that
cool.
Disney did that with Stitch,
Mhm.
and I don't know how that went, but
I'm sure it went horrible. That was a horrible movie. So yes. Continue, please.
mhm.
I haven't seen that one. Stitch.
Stitch.
No, I haven't seen
Um,
the movie called Stitch. That's all.
I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah.
So because all of that was on Disney Channel, didn't have cable, but so I just think that those would both provide interesting premises.
Oh, okay, cool. Ashley in chat says Jim Parsons from Big Bang Theory voiced O in the movie Home. Oh, okay, cool. I did not know that. Dale, did any come to you?
Well, not a particular character, but I would have liked to seen after the Prince of Egypt and Joseph, which other Bible character they would have done next.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I
Did
like
they do Joseph?
yes,
Yeah,
they did.
That was
straight to
but it was straight to video.
Oh,
But I did enjoy it, and I was even if it came straight to video, I would have liked to see them continue with that.
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera did a good job with their greatest stories ever told, and
Yes, I used to love those.
I would have loved to see what DreamWorks would have done with those movies if they were continued with it.
I we might get more into this next episode when we cover the Prince of Egypt. But part of me feels like I think it'd be amazing if the team that did Prince of Egypt would just animate all the major Bible stories just like that, like come up with And I know it can't be perfectly to the text to make for a movie, but
Yeah, I'd like to see the Book of Revelation done by them.
yes, that would be
The Book of
fantastic.
Judges would be interesting.
Yes,
You know,
Yeah.
tense spikes through people's heads.
Yes,
off
absolutely.
camera.
An R-rated DreamWorks movie, animated movie. Let's go.
man.
I mean, you wouldn't have to show anything other than the tent spike.
Well, we'll talk about things that aren't talked about or aren't shown on screen here in a bit. But first, let's get to the things you guys remember from this, because I'm sure Paul is very grateful for my trivia and thought I did a good job.
Yes,
But
great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
Oh, you want me
thought
to
you were just
continue
gonna
what I
go-
normally
I didn't
say?
realize I know.
Sorry.
That's
I thought
fine.
you were going to continue. All right. Let's find out what memories you, our awesome rewinders, had about the road to El Dorado.
Awesome. Drake Tungsten says, none at all. Thank you, Drake. Thank
And
you for
Mrs.
that.
Lomax says, not even sure which one this is, by the way, or to be honest.
Oh my gosh. Well, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there's a reason that this DreamWorks film has been forgotten to history. And let's talk about those possible reasons in our dislike section.
Worst 3.
All right. I'm going to start with this.
Be gentle.
Beach. I know this is a bit ridiculous for a kids movie to expect this level of detail, but
Nonsense. This is
How
fun
is
for the
it-
whole family.
that Miguel and Tulio and the people in Dorado all understand each other perfectly. I mean, they can explain it away. There could be like, I mean, this is obviously there's some magical elements to this. Have some like, oh, how do we understand each other? Oh, the dome allows us to interact with other peoples. I don't know, the veil around us. Just something to make it plausible. But that's just like, oh, we're talking to each other. That's right.
They could have
And-
signaled a lot
and-
more hand gestures or whatever.
On that same topic, if we're gonna pick an accent, please. I know Kenneth Branagh is British, but make Kevin Kline do British. I mean, let's make it all Spanish accents, all American accents. Don't mix and match on me, please.
Speaking of accents, I thought it was hard to tell sometimes between Tulio
Branagh
and yes,
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
Yes, they sound
I mean, it's a
very
good thing
similar.
one was blonde and the other was a brunette, but even their voices was sometimes hard, sometimes
Yes.
not. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree with that. So that was my first salvo of dislikes. Let's go to
Do you need to wipe your chin? You're salivating. What?
Paul. Let's go to Dale next. What's something you didn't like about the road to El Dorado?
Well, I just thought I love the comedy, but I didn't like the we're playing this ball game,
Yeah.
and I thought that might have been a good time for some comedy, but instead we get this kid comedy where the armadillo becomes the ball,
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah.
thought that was just I didn't really.
That
Get
was used
that.
by Disney and Warner Brothers way back when.
I
It
was
was?
disappointed that the ball was a ball and not a head.
Ew.
That would have been more true to life.
Would have been more accurate.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought for something that I for something that was my classic maker, that kind of brought it down for me a
Yeah.
little bit. So that would be one of my deals.
Yeah, I could totally see the comedy.
It
just
kind of brought it down
sometimes-
some for me.
Yeah, yeah, and especially since some of it, I think you're one of the people that spoke to the funny elements of this, Dale.
Yes.
So I could see how when it landed, but when it didn't, it sort of floundered. Just going back to my point, just real quick. Star Fox in chat says Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek could have been good voices. I agree with certainly Salma Hayek. I think I would have preferred her to Rosie Perez. Rosie
Yeah.
Perez. Not that Rosie Perez did a bad
I thought
job.
she did a great job.
But apparently they asked Antonio Banderas to voice one of either Miguel or Tulio, but he didn't want to do it for some reason.
Oh, that's too bad. Come
But
on,
that-
Antonio. What are you doing? Playing with Madonna and Evita or something? Come on.
I mean, really, that would have been perfect because he is a Spaniard. So
Yeah.
Missed opportunity, I guess. But I mean, maybe it's bear off because this obviously flopped at the box office. Regardless, let's go to Paul next. What's something you?
Because I haven't talked enough.
Yeah,
so
talk more, Paul.
I mentioned that I love the 2D animation, but unfortunately, they introduced 3D animation, which I think they did a really good job of. Like, they used it in the crowds of people, and I couldn't really tell. So they did a really good job of blending that. But when it came to the like the boats and like especially in the barrels and even the nets and just with the 2D animation on top of that, I don't think it really worked well having them both together. I mean, the way they did it in Tarzan, I know some people don't like, but the 3D elements combined, I think it worked a lot better than the way it did here. I just rather they took the time and animated or even traced over the 3D elements and make it look animated rather than having two different styles on top of each other. It just took me out. Yeah,
I could see that. Did you like the Jaguar though, Paul?
Yeah, the Jaguar I thought was fine, but yeah,
because of the lighting, it was darkly lit. Maybe that helped.
And maybe because it had like dark lines around the stones or something. I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead.
Celeste, it sounded like you were going to say something real quick.
Oh, just that was my next dislike.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that the 3D, like I understand it was a product of the time, but the 3D animation just didn't work with what they were doing.
Agreed.
It was too obvious. It wasn't blended in enough.
I wonder, I'm trying to think. I mean, you mentioned Tarzan, Paul. I wonder
yes,
what other
in the 90s. It was before this.
Yeah, what other films around this time that were blending that?
All of them were.
Better. No, but that did it better.
They still do it today. They've been doing it for over 20 years now.
I don't know if they did the same thing, but Treasure Planet came to mind.
Oh yeah.
I think they did do some.
Well, what I mean is I don't know if it came in the same time. I have to look it up.
That time.
I'm sorry. I always say Treasure Planet, and I think Titan AE because I haven't seen Treasure Planet.
You had like Treasure Planet, and you had Atlantis.
Treasure Planet came out 2 years after this one.
Oh,
I think Atlantis came out the year after.
Disney tried to do these dramatic cartoons, if you will. And I don't know if some liked them, some did. So I don't know. But as far as what y'all are talking about, Treasure Planet seems to come to mind. With the 3D and the 2D coming together and all that. So I thought I'd bring that up.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's interesting that it just doesn't seem to fit very well. But anyway, let's go back to Paul with something else you didn't like.
All right, this movie's called The Road to El Dorado, and it's not really a road. It's more like a bunch of water until you get to the land, and then that road. Once you get to the land, it's like a 5-minute montage that's over by a song of this road to El Dorado. Most of the movie takes place in El Dorado, so I don't know why. I guess they had to distinguish themselves from the other 200 IMDb listings of Dorado. But speaking of the songs and the montage there, for me personally, the songs in this entire film did not work. I don't think it made the movie better at all. I think it would have been better without it, each and every one of them. And so
I'll stop looking at my list.
So I'll let Celeste take it from there.
I didn't know we were playing categories already.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But Celeste, that was also your next dislike.
It was because it just felt forced. Like I love a good musical. And and anybody who knows me knows that. So I don't have a problem with music being in the movie.
Same.
It was just it felt like it didn't fit.
Which is really
it just didn't fit.
It was really weird because you have Tim Rice, the lyricist, who's an Academy Award winner. You have Elton John, another Academy Award winner, and Hans Zimmer, who is another Academy Award winner. All together on this like they had for Lion King, and it turns out that you can't hit a home run every time, I guess.
And I love Hans Zimmer's music. Like I listen to the Pirates of the Caribbean score when I'm studying things because I find it so comforting. But it just wasn't working for me. Like the songs are good, but they weren't working in the movie.
Yeah. It takes you out of the movie rather than in the movie, at least for me.
Yeah. It wasn't something that really, the songs didn't really make my dislike lists, but I totally see what you guys are saying. I didn't really care for them. None of them were like, oh, this is totally going to be like Billboard Top 40 or something. Something else that I didn't like, though, was, and this is just another, like, let's throw logic all out the door. Apparently, that's my biggest gripe with this movie. In the beginning, when Tulio and Miguel are running away from the people they cheated and then the soldiers, they jump down into these barrels of water. Okay, you're going to break all your bones doing that because you're going to go through the water and hit the bottom floor. It's not like this deep lake that you're jumping into. And even if they did, let's say they survived that. I don't see them there. I don't see a bunch of water splashing out of that. So they're going to drown in the water that's in those barrels. So you're wrong in all these fronts is what I'm trying to say. So
unless you're Molly Brown.
Who's Molly Brown?
She's unsinkable in a barrel. She went over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
She didn't jump into the barrel from 20 feet and then go into Niagara Falls, did she?
You don't know. Why don't you go take this time machine and go find out?
Well, you're also not taking into account it wasn't water. It was pickle juice.
Ew.
Wait, how'd you know that?
Because they said, anybody want a pickle?
Yeah.
When they opened
See, that made it more so, it's like you're resting in a cushion buoyancy
of vinegar.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. We'll go with that, maybe.
But it pickled your experience, huh, Francisco?
It did. And I'm only starting to come around on pickles. So it's a little too soon to just throw pickles at me. But
left a sour taste in your mouth.
I can't think of a segue from pickles to anything else. But Dale, what's one more thing you dislike before we get to our tragic makers?
Oh boy, let's see. Look at my list here. Oh yeah. Do you believe that the high priest and the king knew that the two guys weren't gods at all?
I think the king did.
The king, yeah. Well,
I thought
the priest found out, but
yeah, because of the blood. But the king knew.
Well, see, the princess is hanging out with him all the time.
Yeah.
And you wonder at some point when does it make sense that that you're being conned? I mean, I don't know. Just there's something strange
when you don't have enough faith.
Well, I don't know. It just these two guys just show up out of the blue, and
yeah, but they're white, so they gotta be gods.
Well, white light maybe, I don't know,
Yeah.
but it something about that didn't gel with me. It just these guys show up. Yeah, maybe the townspeople get it because the volcano's going out when they're having their little banter over there,
Right?
But then
they
the
won the
princess,
game.
but the princess is always hanging out with them.
Yeah, because that's her punishment.
Wait, she's a princess?
No.
I didn't know. I took her as the princess. I didn't know if she was or not. I
thought she was just a commoner.
all main female leads in animated movies are princesses.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever, Paul.
So there was a section where when Miguel and the king were talking, and he kind of
right.
Yeah, on the boat. He kind of gives I call it the dad look of I know what you're doing, but I'm gonna let you do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I took
lost on me.
I took that to mean that he knew what was going on, but because Miguel legitimately cared about the people, he was okay with it. If
I know I'm in an animated movie and you're the hero, so I'm gonna let you go.
Wow. I'm just trying to understand. Maybe I'm just trying to understand the logistics of the king and the high priest, if they knew or didn't know, and when did they know? When they knew it, because there was something weird about that whole thing for me while watching this movie, and just something that just didn't gel with me. So
Okay.
that was one of the.
Is it almost like if the king did know, it seems like he would have been able to maintain his own power. Even though he didn't seem super interested in that, just he cared seemingly.
And he wouldn't let all their gold that they were saving up to throw down to the water go. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's another thing that the at some point they come to him and say that you got to make a boat, and you got to do it, and they agree upon 3 days. You think at some point that would register or something. So I don't know.
Well, they came in physically by horse. I don't know. I would leave it.
And now
I'm just naive.
I don't know. That's when I was wondering. Do you think that he already knew that these guys were jokers, and if so, why would he just let these guys do what they're doing?
I don't think he knew because I'm naive, so I don't have to I don't have to answer the why.
So that'd be my other negative, if you will.
Yeah, totally fair. Well, you may not have to answer the why, Paul, but you do have to answer with your tragic maker for the Road to El Dorado.
Dun.
Exactly.
This movie for me did not have a satisfying ending. I mean, at the end, they're like going back to the boat or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, let's follow the trail." Oh, to where? To a rowboat? You can't get to Spain on a rowboat, and if you tried, you'd probably die in the water. Like you know what I mean? But it wasn't a satisfying enough ending for me to want to see it again, or want to see more.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I guess they didn't do what I'm about to say because they were thinking they'd be making sequels, but it seemed like they totally they established. Like, you didn't, when they were throwing the gold into the swirling vortex, you didn't know where that was going. But then they established when everyone goes in that vortex, it ends up out in front where no one knows where the entrance was. So I thought they were going to look around when they're hiding from Cortez and everyone, that they're going to look all around and see all this gold that they can just take and they could try to take back to the boat or whatever.
Oh, I see.
So I'm like, why aren't you doing this? But then I learned, they're trying to do sequels. But still, I was like, oh.
But even then,
the only one who knew that was the priest because he went down.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
So did they? Yeah, they did. They did too.
They went down Chibalba?
Yeah, when they were getting away from the Jaguar, I thought.
The Jaguar went down.
They went through the tunnel.
Oh no, that's right. Okay, but still, yeah, we do find out that where the priest goes because
and I think the priest got lucky not to die between all those rocks. I think everyone else they sacrificed probably died. Otherwise, they just walked back in the village and said, "Hey, that's a fun ride. Let's do it again."
Didn't go to the spirit world. Let's try one more time.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I still think they were in a different spot from where he. I just feel like they could have found gold there. Like all of the gold they tossed in, some of it would have ended up.
I think Emperor Cusco should go in and set up his water slide theme park right there.
That's in a different part of South America, Paul.
Well, he's looking to expand his empire.
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, let's expand from Paul's Tragic Maker to Celeste's Tragic Maker. What did you hate most about this film, Celeste?
So there is a scene where they are singing.
Oh, yes.
And
More with the songs.
More with the
You
songs.
mean the two main guy with about being a god?
Is that the one where it gets all trippy and it almost looks like a Beatles music video?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that scene, I'm like, this does not fit.
I thought that was one of the better songs.
Legitimately one of the better songs, but the scenery that went with the song, it just was not gelling. It got weird. It got all, I don't know. Like it looked like something out of the 70s, which
it didn't match.
fit.
The tone did not match the rest of the film. Yeah.
And it's not so much that of what it was, but it's the fact it didn't fit. It felt like somebody was like, "Hey, let's throw in something psychedelic." And you're like, "What? Why? Who was doing drugs?"
Dude, you got to try it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can totally agree with you there, Celeste. That wasn't my tragic maker by any means, but yeah, it seemed like there were things in this film that just didn't seem to fit.
That's because it's tough to be a god. That's the name of the song. But yeah.
Okay. Ha
Ha ha ha. It's tough to make a good joke. Sorry, folks.
Dale, why don't we go to you next? What was the toughest thing about this film for you to swallow? You're a tragic maker, if you will.
One of y'all's dislikes became my classic tragic maker.
Yeah.
Oh, like one of our likes became our tragic maker, or no, it just like became
like boosted up the tragic.
I love me some Elton John, man.
Oh yeah.
I love. You can name. I've listened many of his songs, and I love many of them. I love his work in The Lion King. I thought that was classic.
Yeah.
But this, oh no. And listening to y'all, I'm glad I ain't gonna get shot out the crap shoot.
Nope, you're not.
Because I remember when you first saw Mortal Kombat, and that theme starts playing.
Yeah.
And the dude in you was like, yeah, we're gonna kick butt or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the first scene plays out, and it's like, oh.
Such a disappointment. Yeah.
Well, that's how I felt when I saw this. When that music starts playing and that DreamWorks icon comes up, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna have a good time. And then it's like, that's how and throughout the movie, and like I said, I enjoy most of the movie, but when he starts singing, that's when I was like,
yeah.
So you're saying,
I felt like they were served as bumper music.
Yeah.
Bumpers from scene to scene.
Yeah.
And when I used to watch, sorry, I'm about to take y'all back for a little bit.
All right.
When you watch Sesame Street, they said that those cartoons or whatever, the in-betweens were commercials.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like the songs were. Or when you would watch Baywatch and the songs would come on, and I felt like I was watching Baywatch again sometimes. And I don't know, it just, like y'all, it didn't work. And like Paul, I thought the two dudes with their song was a little bit better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was, but now I say that, but then I got the CD at the house. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the songs.
There's fan pages about this soundtrack.
Really?
Really?
It's like, I used to jam on it when it first came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for some reason you incorporated it in the film. I was like, what is
difference.
this?
Okay.
So that's my tragic maker.
Yeah, I was about to ask, was it like just the songs weren't up to a good quality? But it sounds like that's not the case. They just didn't seem to fit, or they were stuffed into this film almost.
See, one of the songs, there's one, I forget the name of it. But one of the songs,
track 3.
yeah, well, I can't remember. It had love in the title, I think, but it was like it had, well, on the CD you can hear like Don Henley or Alison Krauss in the background.
Yeah, without question, with Don Henley.
And I didn't hear them in the background, which I didn't expect to, but I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it on the CD more than I did in this movie.
Yeah.
And even in the CD, some of the songs you could tell that there's an offness to it, like they just did in the studio or something. And I don't know, just the quality is kind of off for me. But still, I enjoyed it better than in the movie. But again, that's my tragic maker for this film.
So are you saying that Elton John should have said goodbye to this yellow brick road?
Perhaps.
Is that an Elton John song?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Well,
I know Rocket Man and Piano Man.
see,
that's about it.
Well, see,
Piano Man's Billy Joel.
At this time,
I know Rocket Man.
at this time, it seemed like every project he did, whether musically or in the movies, he was going to retire.
Yeah.
They always mysteriously came back to do something, and
I
don't
think
know,
it was money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that might be.
You-
So let's see. The thing for me though that didn't fit the most was actually, and this sort of flies in the face of one of your likes, Dale. You were talking about how you felt like this wasn't made so much for kids. It was made more for teens and adults, I think is how you said it. And I guess in some aspects in the humor, I would agree with you. That was a nice thing. But for me, the part that just diminished it for me was Chell and Tulio's off-camera makeout session. That, coupled with the character design of Chell, I just felt like caused this degree of over-sexualization that wasn't needed in a film like this. I didn't see the purpose of it. I mean, I guess have one or the other, but it
Not
just,
both. Both?
It felt
both. Both is good.
yeah. Okay. To me, it just felt like this doesn't seem to fit the tone. I mean, I guess similar to the whole psychedelic part, it just did not seem to fit the tone of this. I think you could have done fine with just them having like small kisses or just like, I don't know. Even the back scratching part was a bit too. I felt like that was just.
Wait, were you the one that said that you had a problem with Nala and the Lion King having that lusty look?
I don't think I had a problem with it, but maybe I forget. It's been a while since we did that episode. But yeah, just something about that and the Elton John music mixed together. No, I think for a movie that I think that your main audience for a movie like this is kids, whether or not you like
That's why
that.
they shoehorned music into it.
Exactly.
Songs.
I feel like if you're gonna make a grown-up animated film, awesome. Anime does it all the time. I'm not against like animation with adult themes, but then don't try to just like shotgun hit everyone, like kids and adults similarly. Like have a focus and then try to build off that. And I felt like they were trying to hit too many demographics with this. So that was my tragic maker for The Road to El Dorado. But now that we've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer, Alice, do you have a firing solution for us?
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo at the ready. On your mark.
Good. We now have salvo authority.
Yes, we do. Wait, no, we don't. Dang it. Ready. Ah.
You admit it.
No, I don't. It was a mistake, a slip up, you might say. But our final reigns are not a slip up, but maybe this movie slipped it up big. We'll see. Now that we've entered all our firing. Wait, did I just say that? Dang it.
Oh, wait. Is that an
Edna mode?
Yes, it is. Okay, let me try that again. All right, it's time for the moment of truth. Do we rate The Road to El Dorado a classic? We'd recommend anyone go see this movie, whether or not they've seen it before. A nostalgic, it's worth watching again if you saw it as a kid and enjoyed it. Yeah, definitely relive those past memories. But if you've never seen it before, just sidestep this. Or do we rate it a tragic? It's not worth anyone's time today. If you've never seen it before, keep it that way. And if you haven't seen it, and if you have seen it before, don't sully those memories with a rewatch. So let's start with our guests. Let's start with Celeste. What was your final reign for The Road to El Dorado? You predicted nostalgic. What did it end up being?
I'm going to stick with nostalgic, even though it has become such a part of pop culture with the memes and the GIFs that come off of it,
which are great.
Which are great and very applicable. I use the both one often.
You and me both.
Exactly.
Both.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't think that it's one of those that I would show anybody who hasn't seen it unless they really want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Totally
it's
fair.
not terrible. I
Right.
probably will rewatch it at some point, but I'm not going to go, oh my gosh, somebody has to watch this.
Very fair. And Dale, how about you? You also predicted nostalgic. What was your final rating?
I stick to my nostalgic. Despite the negatives, I still feel it's an enjoyable movie. The camaraderie between the two main characters, Tulios and Miguel, are the heroes of the film to me. It just Kevin Kline and Brana helped that along. So that's so nostalgic.
Okay, very very fair.
Brana.
Paul?
That's how it's like bra. B-R-A is pronounced bra, and nah, N-A-H is pronounced nah, so it's Brana. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm there with you now.
No.
All right.
Paul, now that you've clued us now that you've been clued into Brana, how about you clue us into your final rating? You predicted classic, but what did it end up being?
This went down for me. Unlike Celeste, I probably will not watch this again, just because I really enjoyed the humor in it, and like I said, the camaraderie. But I was disappointed that it didn't hold up for me. But that being said, that's almost like
you don't have to say anything else. I'll put down tragic for you.
I didn't say that because there are people that do enjoy it, and for those people that enjoy it, I would say, yeah, I think it's a great testament for 2D animation. That's
true.
Those parts that are not slam pasted onto 3D animation, but and like I said, the camaraderie between the two main characters based on that, I'm going to give it a nostalgic. Although I personally wouldn't watch it again.
All right. Well, that's fair. Well, you know what?
I don't want you to have a draw, sir. That's not why.
What? What do you mean? How do you know what I'm going to rate it? There's no way you could know. But actually, like Paul, I had predicted nostalgic, but mine went down. I was just not very interested in this film. There wasn't enough going for it for me to make it worth watching. And this is my first time, so it had like the I guess the best going for it because I didn't really remember much about it, what it was really about. So
yeah, no expectations to live up to.
Yeah, no expectations, and it just did not deliver. So that was my range of tragic. But according to the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate The Road to El Dorado a disputed nostalgic film. We'd recommend if you've seen it before, check it out again. But if you never have, then it's not worth your time unless you agree with all of Francisco's ratings. Then it's never worth your time. But
easy there. This isn't Disney.
Neither here nor there. What is there, though, is back to base. So let's get back there.
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
Feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 2000, the year 2000, to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflex capacitors, namely Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keating, Patrick Hicks, LJ Lowry, Chris Cowan, Geek Devotions, The Untold Podcast, James Canison, Drew of the Cellcache, Ashley Cronenbitter, Pastor Dewson, Kennethan. Dang it.
Not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the newest patron. Dang it. It's amazing. Yes. Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keane, Patrick Hicks, LJ Lowry, Chris Cowan, Geek Devotions. Oh, you're right here.
Woohoo!
The Untold Podcast, James Canison, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Cronenbitter, Pastor Dewson, Kennethan, Redeemed Otaku, That's Our Baba, Josh Adams, D. Tungsten, Andy Lewis, Jeff, The Dapper Man Reviews, Tony from the Retro Jays, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner, Rosie, in addition to 7 other awesome patrons as well.
20XX!
Oh, yeah, you didn't do 20XX.
You didn't set it up. But I had to throw it in there somewhere. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming so we can return to 20XX.
Yes.
And if you want to help keep us flying for as little as $1 a month and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
This stream is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
And while we're thanking people, we also want to give a big, I was about to say golden hug, I guess would be the best way to say
sure.
An El Dorado hug, which means the golden. Hug to Dale White and Celeste Moore for supporting us with their reviews and thoughts on the movie The Road to El Dorado. So I'd like to start alphabetically. So let's start with Dale. Sorry, no ladies going first here. Dale, where can people find you?
Not alphabetical.
Huh?
Doesn't
That's not
C come before
alphabetical.
D?
Dang it. You're absolutely right. For some reason, I was thinking more of the last name. Sorry.
But usually you go with first name, so.
Yes.
But my first name's still, or my last name is still before
Oh, yeah.
alphabetically.
No, I was thinking, anyway, more comes after Dale for some reason. I don't know.
Celeste comes after Dale, but anyway.
All right, you know what? Fine,
Dale.
we'll do it your way. Let's go ladies first.
We
Celeste,
don't have to.
where can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on that people should know about?
They can find me online at the Geek Devotions Network because we have so much that offshoots from Geek Devotions, such as YouTube, Twitch, podcasts, so many podcasts. We actually have a new podcast that is starting next week.
Woohoo!
Which you can find on the We Read, allegedly, feed. It's on its own feed, and we review books.
What's
Is there a
amazing about
website
Geek
for it?
Devotions is that they have a new podcast starting every week. So no matter when you listen to this, there will be a new podcast to listen to.
Yes.
Exactly.
No, we're
yes.
stopping it at the 3.
Uh-huh. Sure.
3
Okay, sure.
Sure.
that we run. Not that we're in, but that we run.
Oh, understood. Yeah.
There's a
It's-
difference.
Gotcha.
All right, and Dale, where can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on?
I don't have anything cool going on, but you can find me usually hanging out on Devoted Geek Life on Facebook or hanging with y'all when Francisco streams.
Indeed. Always fun having you part of the streams. Dale, and thank you so much, Dale and Celeste and Paul and all you rewinders, new or old, for being a part of this awesome journey.
Is it my line?
I thought so. I know I
Is
said
that
mine
mine?
a little wrong. Yeah, it is your line.
Okay. And thank you. You can find me, pauljpowers.com, online, where I have all my social media links. You can go to pauljpowers.com. Yeah, pauljpowers.com.
Oh, .com. Okay. And you can
Yes.
find me, Francisco, on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there for a conversation and also to share your memories of these films during our feedback section. Join it at retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord.
Cue Nathan.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
As Nathan just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. You can find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery. Yeah, that's right, all the shows at culturebox.media. And with that, Captain, we are on final approach to base. Hopefully all our gold from El Dorado is there waiting for us.
I hope so too. Thank you, EXO, and thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for The Prince of Egypt, our next episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to nav point Omega and return to base.
Julia, did you ever imagine it would end like this?
The horse is a surprise.
You know what else has horses? Firefly.
Ship like this, be with you to the day you die.
I thought it was
Retro.
Because it's a death trap.
The pod of rewind.
Pretty cunning, don't you think?
They were robbed of time, young Indy made them poor. Burnt out on dullness, what was it all for? With Firefly now. What reviews will they find? The hero of time, retro of rewind.
We gotta go to the crappy town where I'm a hero.
Celeste can't hold it in. Thank you, Celeste. Let it fly.
Oh, I'm dead.
Time for another hard burn into Firefly, where we're reviewing every episode of the TV series leading up to our Christmas episode this year of the movie Serenity. Paul, will you tell us which episode of this show we covered this time?
Absolutely. This time we reviewed episode 5, which is entitled Safe, and was first broadcasted November 8th in the year 2002.
Ooh. And 2002. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think this came out in 2000.
Can you try to give a plot synopsis in one sentence, Captain?
I will do my best. Simon and River, the two fugitives that are hanging out on Serenity, get kidnapped by these hill people, and they accuse River of being a witch, but the rest of the Serenity crew swoop in at the last minute to save them.
I love my captain.
That's good. I'm glad you love your captain, Kaylee. But let's go around real quick and say if we... So actually, I'm curious, for Celeste and Dale, have you both seen Firefly before, or is this your first experience with this property? Let's start with Celeste.
I love this property.
Awesome. And Dale?
This is my first time, man.
Oh, really? Okay. Did you watch any of the other episodes, or this was your first episode?
It was just this one.
Oh,
okay.
No.
Oh, interesting. Well, that'll be interesting to hear your take on it then.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But me and Paul have, of course, seen this before, and we're going through. Well, Paul, you haven't seen all of it. Is this one of the episodes that you had not seen before?
No clue. It's been so long. I don't remember it. So,
right. Well, let's go around real quick and just say that our favorite thing, our classic maker for this episode. And let's start with Dale. Since this was fresh to you, what did you like about this?
I like the that was different. It's different than like watching Star Trek.
Mm,
okay.
Definitely.
For someone who I haven't yet figured out what's going on, it's kind of different. So
yes.
So instead of people looking like they're actually from the year they are, I feel like I'm watching Little House on the Prairie on a spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, I don't know. So that's kind of new to me. So
very cool. Okay, so it's just a different. It was sort of surprising.
I'm wondering why Star-Lord looks like Charles Ingalls. So it's just,
That's a great parallel.
Star-Lord.
You know, Peter Quill.
My guess is he's comparing Mal to
to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Mal. Okay, it's a Star-Lord. Okay. Gotcha. I was not. I mean, yes, I've seen Guardians of the Universe. Totally, I've seen that.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Have
you not? You watched Endgame and you haven't seen Guardians?
No, I've seen them. I'm trying to be ridiculous, Paul. Jeez.
Oh, you're there.
Well, Paul, how about where are you in terms of what you liked most about this episode?
My favorite thing about this episode was the river dance. You get it?
Oh, yeah.
River dancing, that scene where she was just enjoying herself and letting her go. I thought it was a fun little moment.
Yeah, especially since it was like this one moment where she's going through. So for people like Dale that maybe haven't seen this, the character of River was experimented on by the Alliance, sort of the big bad government agency. They took her and did all these weird experiments and messed with her brain. So she has this she just has horrible mental state, but it is awesome getting to see her, like you said, Paul, just be free in the music and just be more of herself. So that was very cool. Let's go to Celeste. What's something you really liked about this episode?
I also really liked the dancing scene because River seemed very free in that moment.
Yeah.
Just in the entirety of the series, she is very bogged down, very because of the result of the experiments they did on her, she is almost always in a state of panic.
Yeah.
And to see her not be panicking and actually be enjoying something was sweet, because you remember she's actually a little girl.
Right.
Like, she went to this school as a child and never had a chance to mature without all this other thing, these other things going on.
Yeah. That's a good point. I never really thought about how she does go there pretty young. I think as like just a teenager, maybe.
Oh,
Like that.
was that Zac Efron playing the young?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That goes right into the thing I liked, Paul, and I really enjoyed that you get to see River and Simon as kids and their interactions with their parents.
It's a young Zac Efron, yeah.
And with young Zac Efron playing young Simon, yes. But I especially love the juxtaposition of, as you see them, like his dad and mom seem like they care about their kids. Mainly, I think it's interesting. So I'm gonna get on a tangent here. But for those that maybe aren't aware, Firefly Universe, the creators have talked about how essentially the alliance is if the United States and China merged, like had a war and became one. Not at all similar to current geopolitical climate at all. Anyway, so that's sort of why there's Asian influence and Western influence into all the costuming and why they speak Chinese sometimes, all that. But it's interesting how I know there's like China had a one-child policy and a lot of them favored males, and it seemed to be consistent here where they're like caring a lot about Simon, but they don't really seem to give much care about River. And so as you see that, it's interesting because then you see how Mal cares about them, not because they're necessarily his kids or anything, but just because they're part of the crew. They're that family. And so I love that that he comes back for them and saves them, and they can be safe on Serenity, as opposed to they couldn't really be safe with their family because their family just cared about how they look to the government and their influence in with their friends and stuff. So I just really like that that opposing sort of view, if you could call it that. But that's the thing I liked. Paul, did you tell us the thing you liked about this episode?
Yeah, the river dance.
Oh yeah, the river dance. That's right. Well, let's dance on over to the things we didn't like about this episode of Firefly. Let's go with Celeste first this time.
I don't have anything.
No, you had to give us something.
This is one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, really?
This one?
I love the entire series is one of my favorite series.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely love it. And so I have a hard time finding something I dislike about it because I'm so nostalgic for it.
Okay.
Then in lieu of that, since unlike me and Paul, who are going to be on each one of these, tell us which episode is your least favorite of the series.
If you have one.
If you have one.
That one where that other guy's in the ship?
Actually, the one where the bounty hunter is on the ship.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah.
Is
I don't
not
like that one much either. Yeah.
because they take everybody out of it.
Uh-huh.
And it's just Mal. And so while I appreciate the storyline of that episode, it's not my favorite because part of my favorite thing of the series as a whole is the banter, the sarcasm and the jokes and the things that go on. So if you don't have the other people, you don't have
the
that
ensemble. Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Dale, what's something you didn't like about this? I know I'm very curious about your experience, given this is your first time in this universe.
Well, maybe it's just me trying to understand what's going on. But when the lady discovers or believes she's sitting in front of a witch,
Oh yeah.
she tells the townsfolk and the guy that assumes the big preacher of the house or whatever he was,
patriarch of the community. Yeah.
He starts out like real nice and gentle, and okay, child, but yet he's quick to hang her as soon as, or put her up to stake. I guess that, or that might have been one of the ones I didn't. Like I said, it might just be me not understanding what's going on, but just that kind of threw me, I guess.
Yeah. I'll go to the thing I didn't like so much about this episode was that I felt like, I mean, it's kind of similar to what you were saying, Celeste, that there was this fracturing of the crew. They weren't like together, working together throughout most of it. There's still this sort of divisiveness between Mal and Simon, which for people like Dale that haven't seen much of this show so far, they're very much at odds. But I feel like this episode really is the one that sort of mends them together, because he's like, you're on my crew. That's why you're back. That's why we came for you. But more so than that, usually shows like this are very one-sided and like showing like, oh, those people that are Christians, they're all fundamentalists and they're crazy. They're just think everyone's a witch. And I would say that would be really annoying, except they have the character of Book, which is very much a preacher, and we never really learn about his past, which is annoying, but this sort of gives us a glimpse that he has maybe a government past of some sort. But I really, I don't like that. And I will say, I looked it up. The thing she's quoting, the only part of it that is in the Bible is the part that says, do not suffer a sorceress in most translations, but a witch in the King James to live. That is in there. In I forget which one it was. If it is Leviticus or
it's probably Leviticus
or maybe Deuteronomy also. But so that is in there.
Exodus 22:18.
Okay, it was Exodus.
Never mind.
But the rest of it was not. That was all just made up whole cloth. So you need Book in that community is who you really need. Anyway, I've digressed so much. Paul, why don't you tell us the thing you didn't like about this episode?
You touched on so many things. It was hard for me to figure out which way you were going, because you started off with what I thought you were going to say, which was also my worst thing, my tragic maker about this is Mal saying, "Oh, well, you're part of the crew. We're not going to leave you behind." Well, then why'd you leave them behind in the first place? It's like, pick one.
Because they had to get Shepard alive.
Oh, yeah. Well, you found him pretty quickly and easily when you went back to look for him, rather than, hey, you know what? Let's circle the planet real quick or something to see nearby, rather than going all the way back from the previous episode for those people that didn't watch to see. Yeah. And then he comes back. Oh, just in the nick of time. That's convenient,
I will say we don't know necessarily. I will say this. Maybe the time to get up to the ship, the Alliance ship, and have Shepard Book healed went really quick, and then they did have a lot of time where they are looking for.
It wasn't edited that way.
No, it wasn't. So that's a very fair point, Paul.
Yeah. Didn't make any sense to me.
All right, that's fair. But would it make sense to continue watching this series based on this episode? Let's go around and say whether or not we liked it. Before you do that, please tell us which character you connected with the most or you liked the most in this episode. Let's start with Celeste again.
My favorite character in the whole series is Mal, because he's very blunt, very sarcastic, and a lot of times I'm like, yes, that's absolutely what should happen. So
yeah, we should aim to misbehave.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, against oppression. So
fair point.
Is it though?
That's a discussion for another day.
Or maybe in the spiritual speculation. And would you continue watching this based on this episode, Celeste?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Dale, how about you? Who was your favorite character if you had one, and or who did you connect with the most?
Well, maybe being that they were the focus of the episode, I would say the brother. Or I guess
Simon.
Simon, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I connected with him more because, like I said, he was the focal point of the most of the episode, and when the woman that they were sheltered with, they called out the sister as the witch. He's trying to can't remember.
He's trying to
connect.
her.
I connected with the brother, trying to. I have a sister, and I could sort of relate, trying to help. I remember helping my sister out a lot.
Yeah.
With things, trying to understand things, and so in some ways, I kind of connected with him at that level.
Absolutely, yeah. So, based on watching just this episode, though, would you want to continue the series, or maybe start from the beginning, or are you?
Well, I would have to start from the beginning to see so I can see what's going on.
Appropriate order.
Exactly.
Just-
and apparently, Celeste and Dallas have it, so borrow it from them.
Well, I watched it on Tubi through Tubi,
cool.
so I got that. So, but it's just I remember when it was advertised on Fox, and sometimes I wonder if the way everybody talks about it, if it would have excelled if it went syndication.
Yeah,
I think
instead
so.
Okay, Fox didn't want it anymore. Would it?
Yeah.
If it went syndication, you had all these Andromeda and Babylon 5 going.
Right.
Would it or if Sci-Fi would have picked it up? I mean,
I think if Sci-Fi had picked it up, it could have gone a lot further. But
I definitely think that you're right. It could have, because the biggest issue was that it wasn't that the people weren't fans. It was that the people that were the test, like the judge audience of the ones they were basing off of whether to keep it or not, were very confused. And that was also partially because they aired it out of order.
Yeah.
Right.
And they kept switching the day it aired on.
Yeah.
So it made it hard for anybody to actually like keep track of it.
Exactly. It's very serialized. Well, actually no, I think it runs a good line of being unserialized and episodic, but on the whole it's serialized for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Paul, would you? Oh my gosh. Who is the character you connected with the most, and would you keep watching if you didn't have to?
The person that I connected to with most this time for me was Kaylee, especially in the shop where she liked the plate and then she wanted to give it to Simon, and Simon just like completely trashed the plate without knowing that she wanted to give it to him. If I have or in the past, if I've had a crush on someone and I was like, oh, I'd like to give them this, and then they trash talk it, I would be of the mind like, oh, okay, like whatever, this person's awesome, so sure, that's fine. But I really appreciate her wherewithal to reason out that says, oh, if you don't like this, then you must not like the this lifestyle and the people, like basically like me. And she basically took it, analyzed it with clarity, and tried to move on, and that is very inspiring. Is that the right word? But for me, it's like, I wish I could be that integritous. What's the right word? True to
being integrated, like have integrity, that type of
right.
Integrity, but I'm not sure if that's the word you're looking
right.
for.
But anyway,
Strength of mind would be
that strength of mind that she had at that moment was inspiring to me the most of this episode. So that's my favorite person for this episode.
Awesome. And would you keep watching?
I'm on the fence. Based on this episode, I may not. It's one of the ones that I don't like as much. Maybe because I found it didn't make sense, some of it, like why they were leaving and why they came back for them, and I understand, like, oh yeah, these people need a doctor, just like there was another episode like, oh, these people need medicine.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of, I understand that. It's just, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't fun to watch, like them accusing River of being a witch and such. I don't know.
Yeah, that wasn't. I agree. For me, I actually really liked Zoe in this episode. I really appreciate how she was telling like Shepherd Book when he's like really on death's door. Like he's like, where's the doctor? He's like, we don't call him for the big stuff. It's like just doing just some really good dialogue of not like lying to him, but also not like trying to keep his spirits up, and also how he. I really love her a line with her back and forth with Mel when they do find the Simon River. Is like, he's like, what does that make us? Big D heroes, ain't we just? I love that. I like a lot of her dialogue throughout this. It's just, I don't know. I feel like she's such a good sort of what would you call it? Someone who's just very, very not quite stoic, but very solid compared to Mal. Can be a bit. I mean, he could be a bit crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
I think he certainly after the war he's much more subdued, but he's a lot more risk taking. Whereas she's risk averse, and I think they just play off steady. Yes, thank you, Ashley. Yeah, she's more steady, and I just really like how they play off each other. But
so Wash comes up to her and says, "Hey, you want to go steady?" She says, "I already am."
Oh my god! But I do like that's another relationship I like in this series. But similar to you, Paul, I don't know if I'd keep watching. I much more prefer we have a job. And where we have to go through some danger to do the job. I like those stories a lot more than this one, which is a bit more about the interpersonal connections.
Yeah, which I tend to I usually like that, but this maybe it's how it was handled
among the high stakes heist or whatever. But all right, well, guys, awesome. Then I guess we would say overall go watch this continued, but. Hopefully we'll catch you the next time we cover another episode of Firefly. I think the next episode is, Janestown, which is finally...
You've been saying that for 3 episodes now.
Yeah, but I think the next one really is. And finally, Paul will know why the intro is the way the intro is.
The next episode is called Our Mrs. Reynolds.
Dang it! All right, Janestown after that?
Maybe. You have
That's
to stick around and
a
find
good
out.
episode.
Exactly. All right. Well, until next time, keep flying.
Good night.
Don't let the space bugs bite.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So Dale or Celeste or Paul, any of you need to take a break before we start spiritual speculation? Okay, go for it, Paul.
That's great, Francisco. But what does that have to do with El Dorado?
Oh my gosh, Paul.
There is no bathroom.
Wow.
Hold on. But there is. I need to stop.
Also, everyone, please give it up for Ashley, who's in the background doing all the switching and moving things so that whoever is talking is in focus. She's doing an awesome job. Thank you so much, Ashley, for doing that.
So, just so you know, Francisco, Janestown is the next one after Our Mrs. Reynolds.
Finally. I keep thinking it's a lot sooner than it is, apparently. I don't know why, but Bob says, I love Janestown. Yes, Janestown is great.
I always have the issue with this.
Janesville. One dude.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
I always have the issue with this this series differentiating what I remember because I watched it all within quick succession. I finished the entire series within a week.
Wow. Okay. That is fast. Because I think you may have been mixing up Out of Gas with, which is the one where Mal is trying to get back to the back and he's bleeding out, with the last episode with the Bounty Hunter, which I forget what that's called actually.
Objects in Space.
Objects in Space. I know almost all of them by heart. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I got. This won't be the right order, but there's Serenity, Train Job, Bushwhack, Shindig. This one's Safe. Our Mrs. Reynolds, Janestown, Arius. It starts with an A. It's the planet.
Ariel.
Ariel. Then I think is trash. Oh, the message is in there also. Heart of Gold. Let's see.
You've gone out of order.
I know I'm out of order. I know.
Okay.
This whole courtroom's out of order. And then Objects in Space. I think that's all of them.
You missed.
I missed one.
War Stories.
Oh, War Stories. Yes.
And nope, that was it. Just War Stories.
Okay, that's right. With the torture. Hey, and Bobo, Squirrel, Neko. Let's see, who else? I think we had some other people in here. Thank you all so much for being here, guys. Hopefully you're enjoying the episode. Thank you, Celeste and Dale, for spending your evening doing this. James Bond has a town. No, Jane, Jayne, Jane.
And Vera. Have we met Vera yet?
No, Vera.
Who's Vera?
We meet Vera in War Stories, I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Vera is. You'll find out who Vera is, Paul. Celeste and Dale, you were both good to go?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. And Dale, did you come up with a spiritual speculation or no?
I believe so.
Okay. Paul, did you have one? I don't think I asked you.
You didn't ask.
I'm sorry. Did you have one, Paul? I have a theme. I don't really have like a scripture verse or anything, but
I do.
okay. All right. Let's start with.
I just thought of it.
Nice. Don't forget it. Dale,
Yeah,
would you say yours is a pretty big topic or on the smaller side or somewhere in the middle?
It's questionable, so I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly.
All right. We'll start with yours, then go to Paul's and then mine. And Squirrel, y'all reviewing Rooster Cogburn? I don't know what that is.
It's a John Wayne movie.
Oh, okay.
Sequel to True Grit.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was a
It had,
sequel to True Grit.
it had Katharine Hepburn in it.
Oh, okay. Nice. No, we were reviewing one of the episodes from Firefly, Squirrel, just now. Right.
No, he's asking next. Maybe we should review El Dorado, the John Wayne movie, first.
That'd been a better movie.
I wouldn't doubt it. No, we're reviewing The Prince of Egypt next.
I love that movie.
It's a little over 2 hours, but it'd been a better movie.
3 weeks. Wait.
I think so. Something around there.
Oh, this movie, Dale, or which movie were
The John Wayne El Dorado.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for Prince of Egypt as well, Ashley. Okay, then, guys, I guess we'll go ahead and start with spiritual speculation.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong game.
3.
Wait for it.
Welcome, reflux capacitors, to another spiritual speculation where we take a look at the spiritual themes that the movies and games we discuss on the podcast prompt us to think about. Tonight's dialogue will be regarding the film The Road to El Dorado, which we covered in retrorewindpodcast.com/250, 50, not 15, 50, which you can go and listen to the review of that, but you don't have to have listened to that to listen to this, though sometimes the humor carries over. Because, me and Paul especially, we're such funny guys. But
yeah, but looks aren't everything.
Oh, my gosh. Walked right into that one. That's an oldie but a goodie from pauljpowers.com. Anyway, before we get into the discussion, though, let's go around and say what who we are, what our faith life was growing up, and what we currently believe, spiritually speaking, these days. So I'm Francisco. I was raised a Presbyterian, which is a Christian, not a Christian denomination, a Protestant Christian denomination. That's the word I was looking for. And currently, I am a non-denominational Protestant Christian. Let's go with Celeste next.
I was raised Southern Baptist, which is a Protestant viewpoint, and I am currently Assemblies of God, which is also a Protestant viewpoint.
A lot of protesting.
A lot of protesting.
How about you, Dale? Do you have any 99 Theses yourself?
All I know is I used to be Catholic. Now I'm Baptist. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, nice.
You did get those Theses. And Paul.
So I grew up in the army where we conquered in the name of Christ, and then I came across these indigenous people, and I still believe in Jesus.
They didn't sway me with their heathen ways, is what you're saying. All right.
Exactly.
Great. That's great, Paul. All right, guys. Well, let's begin with Dale. What's something that you that sort of prompted you to think spiritually when you watched this film?
How much do you value friendship? How much do you value the people around you that are closest to you? When not just with Tullios and Miguel, but the king and the high priest. What set them off? I mean, why aren't they? They seem to be more political enemies than
cooperate, working together.
Sometimes you would hope that would be better stewards of the community, being their leaders.
Yeah.
One seems to be more Professor X, and the other Magneto, if you will.
Yeah, I can see that.
And,
interesting.
They have similar goals, but different ways of getting there. But they don't respect one another. They maybe they were friends at one point, but their positions have led them astray from each other, if you will. So I just kind of want, how much do we value each other, especially when we're supposed to be better stewards of Christianity, if you will. I mean,
especially when the other betrays you with something that you both agreed upon.
These days, past few days, or maybe recent weeks, I try not to read a lot of comments when I'm watching the news or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Lately in our community, there's been a lot of murders, shootings, people getting popped for sexual misconduct, and each topic, there's people that are already ready to put their Punisher shirts on.
Yes, it sounds like vigilante style, right?
And well, it's just the way they talk. And I wonder, how we're supposed to love one another, but yet I understand. There's times when I hear about about our children getting hurt that I too like to go pound somebody's head, but then I had to stop to think, how's that going to help that kid,
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. It's just, how much do we actually value each other? Especially the people around us. Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, when he accepted an Emmy for Lifetime Achievement, he asked us in a speech to think about the ones that helped us the most, to take whatever time we needed to do that. And he looked at his watch as we did. And so, I mean, if you took the time to think about it, who helped you when you were falling?
That speech is a good point, because in that speech he says, look for the helpers. That's where you'll find the compassion, where you'll find the people who really care. We can get weighed down with all the bad, which is kind of what the priest was doing, was he was getting weighed down by all the bad that was going on.
Yeah.
Rather than
all these people need to be cleansed, and
but
point to all the bad ones. Yeah.
But we look at the king and high priest, and we start to remark about their misfortunes.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't take a look at Miguel and Tulio's that they're going through their own problems. You know, they're about to go about that. This is called the road to El Dorado. Well, they're about to go through another road of separation because they're letting their prides get in the way, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one's about to get into did get into a relationship with this girl, and other guys finding a sense of community with the townspeople.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks he's a god, and he's getting beat. So I start to question. I just question the value of friendship, the value of people that you say you love. You know, so I mean, in the church, I mean, I couldn't tell you how many people that I've heard over the years quick to criticize others, but yet they're not. But they're not standing. They're not. But yet you don't see them doing the things that they complain about the others.
Yep.
And you're asking, or where are you at? And I don't know. I just watching this movie. I struggle with that issue, I guess. So I mean.
So I'm just trying to make sure I understand. So is the issue like how we don't reflect sort of God's, essentially the greatest commandment of after love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, but love your neighbor as yourself, in that we let all these sort of our own pettiness get in the way of that, and instead of thinking about sacrificial love, we care about just what we want and let that get in front of anything else. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Or am I misunderstanding? Okay. Yeah, I totally get that and totally see that, I saw that especially in Miguel and Tulio.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that well, I'm not gonna. I was just about to bogart into my section. Paul.
No, go for it.
Well, I was gonna say Paul or Celeste. Is there anything you had to say about what Dale brought up?
So I just think it opens up an interesting conversation because we have everyone's so focused on the negative and focused on the petty things, on the differences, when we have a lot more in common than you would think. And it's better to focus on the commonalities or to focus on the differences, but focus on them in a way that, oh, that's awesome that you have this as a difference. Yeah. Focus on the positive rather than the negative when you're dealing with people. Because if you do that, you're able to show them love and show them kindness.
It's great that she's a witch.
I'm not a witch, I'm your wife.
What you just said, I don't think I want to be
I don't want to be that anymore. Sorry.
No, but I think it's so easy to, I mean, I think this is why Jesus talks about take the plank out of your own eye before you take the speck of sawdust out of your brother's, because it's so easy to see.
That's a good applicable verse.
The other things people are doing and not realize all the crap you're doing.
Yep.
And it's so easy to criticize other people as opposed to looking inwardly at the things that you need to fix. Plus, it's so much easier to say you fix you instead of me fix me.
Yeah. Matthew 7.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Exactly. Awesome. Then, Paul, let's go to your spiritual speculation. What did you have from this movie?
So, watching this movie, I couldn't help but think, wow, what a great opportunity. You have basically the opportunity to go to an indigenous people and reinterpret their sacred writings, and how you could point them all to Christ, like in a way. And
right.
So
these sacrifices you do, there is someone who was sacrificed, and he was the final sacrifice.
Yeah. You know how you're going into water and coming,
exactly.
But you can come back out. Anyway, it represents death. It's representation of death, not an actual death. Anyway, So I thought, oh, what a great opportunity, especially to spread the gospel.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, okay, there are a lot of people, especially when we're on social media, we have people of all different backgrounds looking at us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were to take an opportunity like that, there are some that would stand up and say, hey, that's not right. You're manipulating people because they're not, they believe religion's bad and all that stuff. And my personal opinion is like, forget this opportunity outweighs your opinion anyway. But I also know that's the wrong opinion, or not the wrong opinion. It's the wrong way to react. So my question is, what do you say to someone who says this spreading the gospel is a bad thing because, religions are bad and whatever? What is a way that we can respond in Christ-like love to help both sides? Because I think what I see is when people respond, they're putting one over the other, and one suffers. Either the people you're trying to reach because you back down, they suffer because you're trying to appease the other people trying to reach. Or either way, one side suffers. So what do you think is an appropriate response to that?
I think the appropriate response is to lovingly go, you are entitled to that opinion. Because you can't force people to change their minds, especially on social media. If you stay humble and stay loving, stay Christ-like when things like that are happening, and sometimes that requires just not responding, then you're in that situation, you're blameless. If the person is getting, I don't want to say violent, but getting aggressive, that's the good word. Then if you are being very non-confrontational about it, very non-aggressive about it, very, hey, this is, they asked, I answered, it was an opportunity, not forcing it on anybody, then everyone else will see that and go, oh, that person's in the wrong. It's one of those, your actions speak louder than your words. We want to share the gospel, but we want to share the gospel not just with words, with actions. So
that leads me to another question. And what do you say to these people who, because it seems like, and I know things are rarely as they seem, but it seems like whoever has the loudest microphone seems to be right. And what I mean is, like, you can say something that is, in a non-aggressive way, but if people say, oh, well, you're just, a racist or whatever, but you have enough people saying that about you, no matter how much you deny it, no matter how much it's not true, it's not. So I'm taking this a whole nother direction. Sorry.
That's okay.
No, that's okay. I actually have had a situation fairly recently where that happened, and not exactly, but something to that effect happened.
Sorry,
and
I need to be exact, Celeste. No, go ahead.
Well,
that's because you're a racist, Francisco.
I was about to say, I haven't been called a racist in a while. But the person was accusing me of being aggressive and being judgmental. And so
for context, was this a non-Christian as far as you know, or was this another Christian, or if maybe that doesn't matter, but
they were trying to think of how you would put it. Pagan would be the best way to say it. Had formerly been Christian, are currently pagan. And so long-standing relationship that has, at least for this point, ended. But they were being very aggressive, and I was very calm, very loving, but didn't back down.
Yeah.
Good.
So it resulted in we're just not friends now. And I'm going, okay, well, I still love you, but I will respect your wishes to not contact you. So
if you need me, I'll be over here.
Yeah, exactly. I actually did say that. I was like, if you need me, I'm here. You don't have to be doing what I think you should. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for you whether I agree with you or not.
Yeah.
So
I hope Dallas decides to, I hope this person decides to change their ways. But no, that's really tough though, Celeste.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. But I've kind of gotten peace about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you've done what you feel is the most you can do for the best that.
Yeah, exactly. I've presented what I believe. I've not backed down, but I've also not gotten rude about it.
Yeah, you haven't got up in their face. They're like, well, I'll see you in hell. Okay, bye.
Wow.
So.
No, that's good. That answers.
But that legitimately is how I would handle it because that is how I handled it.
Yeah.
So Paul, I want to address one, maybe both of your points, but what would you like to have addressed first? The whole
in order, alphabetical order, starting with
gosh.
Dale.
So starting with Dale.
Yes.
Okay. So for the how'd you go about if you're like trying to say something like share the gospel, but someone comes up to you and says you shouldn't really be doing that. That's not okay. That was like the first question.
Yes.
Okay. I guess it's somewhat. If it's someone you just don't know, like off the street, that's saying don't do this. It's like, oh, sorry, I'm going to do this. I have free speech. If you're in the States, anyway. But
forget you, dude.
If it's someone you know, I guess I would. So this is a stereotype. I'm being completely stereotypical.
Oh, you are racist. Sorry.
No.
It's a joke.
But I guess yes. I hate aliens from like E.T.
Why?
I hate E.T.
All they do is come out of your stomach.
Now the human race bears God's image, so I. But no, that's not the point. That's not. I'm being silly. If it's someone I know, and again, this is a stereotype, I think a lot of the type of people that would want you to not share Jesus because they think you're brainwashing people or what have you,
right,
are probably the type of people that think global warming is going to destroy us in 12 years. Or
that's been scientifically proven.
So, because we gotta follow the science. Somehow the science changes very rapidly.
Right.
I'm getting on a soapbox. Okay. So here's what I would say: if I knew this person, you know what? Question for you: would you? I know you feel like global warming is imperative. We need to tell people about it. Do you think it's okay to share that with people? Do you want people to know the truth about that? What you see as the truth about
so
that?
you get something that they want to share and put it on the same level.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, you may not agree with me, but this is very true to me, and this is very serious to me. So I would ask that I'll respect you wanting to share about global warming, that you appreciate me wanting to share about my faith, something like that. That really has to do with like knowing the person though on at least some level.
Look, I know you believe in flat Earth, but this is what I believe. This is my flat Earth that I need to tell people about.
Quite go with that. But okay. Wow. And then to address your other point about the person with the loudest megaphone seeming to be right. I think that's kind of where you have to just care about it doesn't really matter who has the biggest megaphone. If what you believe to be true is the truth, the truth will eventually win out regardless.
Well, yeah, because it's relative.
No, it's
so whatever
not
wins is the truth because it's relative.
Paul,
no, that's not how it works. Sorry,
that's not how it works.
All right.
Oh my gosh. But that's why I would say you sort of rest in that. And if, regardless of what people say, if they're lying about you, if it will eventually come out that you were right. It may, unfortunately, it may be long past when you die, but in eternity, it will certainly, all will be known. So,
you'll find out in less than 100 years. And Edna,
I guess what beeping? I don't hear a beeping. You hear a beeping, Paul?
No, but Celeste does.
I hear a steady like beeping. I've been hearing it the whole podcast. I assumed it was.
Is it like off and on? Beep, beep.
It's pretty steady. It's beep, 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 beep. So at first I thought it was because my phone was up and I was like, oh, let me put it down in my lap. But it doesn't.
Chuck the phone out the room. See if it continues.
I'll turn off the data and the Wi-Fi so it's not getting signal, but I'm not chucking it out the room.
Everyone here, by the way, Cellcast, I saw you come in before and I didn't say thank you for being here. Mr. Lost, Cellcast, Squirrel, anyone who's hanging out here, Neko, do you hear a beeping or anything? I haven't heard any all night.
My phone is still completely off and I'm still hearing it.
So Squirrel, you're hearing it, and it's almost like Morse code. That's how you're.
Hang on, Dallas is gonna listen.
Oh, okay. Neko, is that?
Do you
Neko,
hear it?
No, you're not hearing it.
I hear it faintly.
Yeah, it's real faint.
Oh, interesting.
Some people do, and some people don't. That's weird.
That is weird.
Maybe we're too old to hear it.
Oh, great. Okay. You hear it, says Mr. Lost. Oh, man.
Tangled.
But do you hear the gospel?
Oh my God. Wow. And Paul, you don't hear it, right?
No.
Okay.
Let's see here.
All right.
Hi, Dallas.
I guess we could. I mean, it's not bad it's a high frequency. I had to turn off my other stream to hear it. No beeping on my end either. Huh. I wonder if it's something where we mute out if people on the stream won't hear it. But
Dallas, are you going for like a samurai look on your cut?
I had I have it on pre-fade monitor. Okay. And so basically you can hear it before you turn them on. So your channels weren't actually on.
So did the beeping
So did they not get the recording?
No, he's hearing you.
Yeah, we're
recording. As long as we're hearing you, we're getting your recording.
He's recording whatever comes to him. But if you were trying to record on the board, you would have gotten nothing.
Gotcha.
But you don't.
I
need
don't
to record
understand
on the
any of
board.
that, but okay.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. It's good.
I kind of understand it, but I don't.
So is the beeping still going on? Those
I
people
can't
that heard
hear them
it.
now.
Okay.
Because they're not on either on their board.
What do I do for that?
Turn on their channel.
Which channel is it?
The one the USB channel is 4.
Can you hear it?
And I hear it again.
You hear it again?
Yeah.
Again. Dun dun dun. The plot thickens.
Mr. Lost, do you hear it?
You hear it when you hear them.
I had to strain to hear it. Oh wow. So it's super. So that's good.
How about Squirrel Curl? Can you still hear it?
I think.
Did it go off and back on? Did Lesty turn back on the beeping? So Mr. Lost says yes, they still hear it.
Okay.
I wonder if it'll show up on the recording, much like the static of not Treasure Island, but you know.
Yeah, I'm hearing it. It's because when I turn you guys off,
all right,
it goes away. So it's somebody's signal.
Well, here, let me mute myself. Tell me if you still hear it after I mute myself.
Hello, hello, hello. No, you don't hear it?
I still hear it.
Okay, then I'll mute myself.
Yeah, Paul, you do you.
All right.
Paul's gone. That's it.
Oh, it's
all Paul's fault.
Oh, it's my fault.
Shame on you, Paul. Shame on you.
Weird.
I'm not hearing
It's because Paul's a witch. That's why it is.
Oh my God, you guys and your witch dialogue. Horrible.
Now we're having fun.
We are having fun. Okay. So
right.
what you need to do is just load the rest of the show into your soundboard and just play that.
All right. Actually, I'm gonna unplug my soundboard and let's see if that goes away.
Okay.
Do you still hear it?
Yes.
Oh, so it's not. So it is me. It's not my soundboard.
All right, I'm gonna give this back to Celeste.
Here. Okay. Well, that's good to know, Ashley. Thank you. Well, we'll just keep going. I'm not gonna worry about it.
Hopefully it won't. Yeah. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah.
We'll just
well,
suffer through
I
it.
feel like something like that I can mute out. Like I can noise cancel something like that out. If it's repeated, it's the same frequency.
That is
There's
so
a space
weird.
where it's only that. I think we'll be okay. No,
don't
it's
hear
louder
anything.
now. What'd you do, Paul? What'd you do?
Well, let me plug the soundboard back in, and it'll probably start playing music. Hold on.
When you undid the board, I mean. Okay.
No, didn't start playing music. Okay, good.
I mean, I heard one little beep. I'm not hearing repeated beeps, beep, beep. But let's continue on with the dialogue. I think we're almost done.
Hi, how are you? I'm very happy to be here. Very nice to see you all again. First, I would like to just get to know you.
Are you done, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to it. I think I want to count this. Fine, count it as 5 as Ashley. I don't care.
Edna mode.
Oh my gosh. So, Paul, I think it really just have to, if it's true, then just hold to that and don't worry about what the mob's saying to you. Is what I'll say to that. Now,
yeah, because ultimately you have to give it.
Than done.
Right. I know you ultimately have to give account to God, but I want to make sure that I'm remembering to treat both sides as lost. You know what I mean? And try to appeal to. And I know sometimes you can't, win them all. But if there's and I know you have to listen to the prompting of the Holy Spirit and all that. But I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. So those are my thoughts. Awesome, guys. Well, I have one that let's cover this real quick. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and then we're done. That was great. So this movie really seems to say that it's okay to be treated like a god if you come from a civilized culture. That is to say, I mean, they seem to treat. It's almost like, Miguel's the Kenneth Branagh, right? The blonde one.
Yes.
Okay. So he's the one that's like, I'll just stay here. This is great. And he's like, you will not kill anyone else. And he's like, just really like sticking it to the priest. Khan.
But I thought they thought they were gods because both of them came on riding a horse, just like the stone had predicted, not because they came from culture.
No. That's what I'm being snarky in my phrasing.
Oh, okay. That wasn't a real question. Okay. Or statement.
Let me complete my thought.
Okay, please do.
Miguel realizes he's not a god, and he wants to get out of there as soon as possible because he knows they'll realize that. I'm sorry, Tulio's like that. Miguel, though, is like, he seems like, oh no, I can just be a god forever. I'm great. Well, yeah, of course it's easy for you. Everyone adores you. You don't have to work for anything.
Yeah, Kenneth.
But as soon as they realize you're not really doing anything for them, they're going to feel very betrayed. So I feel like it's ridiculous to hold him up as like, oh, look at this guy. He's making things better for everyone. Because of his, like, that's why I said civilized culture, just because he's like, we shouldn't do sacrifices and we need to let these people be them and be free. And which is great. That's all great stuff, but it's coming from a bad place. It's almost like it's the idea of the means, the ends justify the means with this, which I feel like is not a good value system to hold to. So that's what I don't like about this, is that there seems to be no consequences for him doing this. No one ever turns on him or anything like that, other than he bleeds, and so the priest knows he's not a god. But the people still revere him greatly. So
that's why I still think they think he's a god. Going back to our previous discussion.
Okay, but how? I mean, obviously we're not meant to be gods. We're not meant to be worshipped. We're the beings that are designed to worship a god, not be worshipped. So
Francisco.
do you guys think though that in his situation he could have just gone on and continued to be worshipped and it would have been fine?
I think that if he had stayed, that it would have come out that he was not a god, but that because it was not so much about him being a god, it was more about him legitimately caring about the people and caring about their welfare.
But they only I feel like they only cared what he cared about because they saw him as a god. Like if they were just a man, I don't think they would have cared if they if he cared about their welfare, because it's like you're not gonna be able to do anything for us because you're just a guy like me.
Maybe in the beginning, but I think if he had stayed and changed things, that he would have then done something for them. He would have changed mindsets. I think it was actually a better way to do it than what we historically know the Spanish stuff did.
Absolutely, but should we impersonate gods when we go to cultures and try to share Christ?
No.
But it's better. It's better.
Well,
it's better than going accept Christ or die and then killing them.
Yes.
But it's not by much.
You look very confused, Paul. What's up?
Oh, there's a lot of things. First, I don't understand a lot of what's being talked about. But Francisco, first question for you is,
yes.
Are you a god?
No, I reflect.
Then die.
Oh my god. Wait,
and I'm coming from a completely different angle because I would be like, yeah, if Blondie wants to stay.
Thank you, Dale. Oh.
Yes, Gozer aside, it's easy if Miguel wants, not Miguel, Tulio, no, Miguel. If Miguel wants to stay, and it's easy, just say, I've decided to turn into human form, and then he can grow old with them. But he would still be treated as a god. See, I don't think that they knew that. So
I don't think Miguel was smart enough for that.
He's a con man. Well, maybe not. I mean, he is a con man, but maybe he's not smart enough.
He was not the idea man.
Yeah. So I don't know how to answer a lot of I don't even know exactly what the question is, but Celeste seems to be on your line of thinking, so I'll leave it up.
Tracking what the question actually is. I'm just jumping in and going, okay.
It was more of a theme of.
It's not a question; it's a theme.
Holding men up to being gods
should
result in consequences, not in like, oh yeah, this is great for our society and let's keep you going as a man.
But you're talking about ideals that people throughout history have fallen to, and that's not going to stop it from happening again because we know history repeats itself.
But there's no consequences for it, and there were, I'm sure, consequences for those people. There aren't any consequences for Miguel in this.
And there's no consequences for deleting private and top secret emails either. So
shots fired, Paul. All right, that's fair. Okay, I don't. That that's a good point. That's
what are you gonna do?
Point.
I don't keep my mouth shut. That's what I'm gonna do.
No, we talked about this. Paul's speculation. You need to keep speaking truth. But no, I know what you mean. Anyway, yeah, I guess I just want to share. That was a bonus dislike. I just want to sort of do spiritual speculation.
Slid it right in.
Exactly. But thank you so much. Any last minute thoughts or things anyone wants to get out before we close for tonight? Going once, going twice. Sold.
Go for it.
No,
I just thought.
Yeah, go for it, Jay.
I just thought that something about y'all saying when we're going out to our various neighborhoods sharing the gospel, when you can only do what you can do to share that message, that truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And from there, that's where you have to let the Holy Spirit take over.
Yeah, take those seeds and plant and water them.
If that person doesn't want to hear it from you, at least you tried.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From there, that's where the Holy Spirit can. But now, just don't let them catch you walking out of a casino or something negative, or doing something negative.
Or
then you
blackjack. I'm just saying it's just
that's because your dice are loaded, Francisco.
There's no dice in blackjack.
Just a thought,
Yeah.
No, that almost like don't live duplicitously. Like don't say one thing and then you go like rules for thee but not for me type of attitude. Yeah.
I say don't follow me, follow Christ. Unlike Paul, who said, "Follow me as I follow Christ."
Okay, that's not confusing at all.
Yeah,
anyway,
because
thank
I'm
you
Paul. Never mind.
so much to
I'm
Paul.
the .com, not the apostle.
Oh, Paul the .com, to Dale, to Celeste, and for all of us, including myself, we bid you all. Oh wait, I forgot to say thank you, Reflux Capacitors, for supporting this content. Really appreciate you, and for all of us, we bid you a shalom.
That means peace.
Thank you guys so much. Squirrel says, thanks, Dale, for being behind me on the John Wayne El Dorado. Totally. I'd like to see more John Wayne movies. I still haven't gotten to it. I know you Dale, the one you recommended to me was not The Explorers.
The Cowboys?
The Cowboys, that's right. So still need to see that. Still need to see lots of movies. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, everyone watching the stream live. Thank you again to Ashley for running the background widgets and moving stuff around. Thank you, Paul, for being an awesome XO. And thank you, Celeste and Dale, for your time this evening.
Yes.
Thanks, Retro and Crew. You bet, Squirrel.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Please join me in a stream face as we end it. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mr. Lost.
Have fun storming the